Hey there, YouTube.
What's up, guys?
This is Team Valhalla with a final recap of the regional that we just went to. This is Odin with his Fire Fist deck that he ran at the regional. It did happen October 19th, 2013. Watch the other two videos for the other recaps of the two team members other than him. But now I'm going to turn it over to him so he can go over what he ran.
Okay, guys, so I ran Fire Fists. This has been a favorite deck of mine since it came out, like about 2 formats ago, format and a half ago, however you want to label it out. You know, everybody's been excited about the Rooster card ever since it got announced forever ago. You know, I'm a little bummed that Spirit went down to 1, because I had a really cool build, you know, that I was testing online for the longest time, and, you know, I finally came up with a 3/4 build. Probably going to be putting that deck list up in at least another week or so. But yeah, this is what I ran. It was a lot of fun. You know, first regional for us, first regional as a team, and it was just a lot of fun. So let me get to it. Round 1, you know, I'm sitting there, and I'm sitting at my table, and I'm waiting for my opponent, and this guy comes up, you know, a normal looking dude and everything like that. You know, we start playing, and he wins a dice roll and sets 5 pass. So I'm like, fuck, I hope this isn't chain burn. And, you know, I'm playing and stuff like that, and I'm doing my normal stuff. If I remember correctly, I had a pretty decent first hand. You know, I had like a bear, a wolf bark, a rooster, a tenki, and a tensu. So at that point, you know, if you're a Fire Fist player, you know you have the nuts. You're like, alright, as long as this guy does not absolutely stop everything I do, I can at least get him down to 3,000 life points. You know that you're pretty well set, and at least you'll have some bounce back. Turns out he is playing Chain Burn. And, you know, he waits till I just spam. He has no problems with anything, just waits for me to spam and just absolutely annihilates me. Just Desserts, Secret Barrels, Chain Strikes, Accumulated Fortunes, the Threatening Roars, the whole 9 yards. So, like, I'd poke, you know, for 2,200, and then he'd swing it back at me for like 3,000. And, you know, he even game 1 summoned Medion and just bounced all my stuff back, and I was like, you know what, this is awful. I was like, what a way to start my day. You know, I thought I was going to start off the day with a loss. So I lost round 1. You know, he's a very good player. You know, knew his chains really well. It was nice because most people that I play with Chain Burn do their chains wrong. People don't realize chains resolve backwards, and that's been forever, and I don't understand why people don't know that. Or, you know, they'll miss chains where they'll Geometrio at the wrong time with the Just Desserts, and it just won't work.
It's true.
I kind of got myself prepared for game 2 and 3. I was like, well, I'm in for the long haul. I need to go fast. I was like, I don't care what happens. I don't care how many resources I burn through. I need to go too fast to where he can't activate his stuff, and I just need to go. So, you know, game 2... Again, surprisingly, draw the nuts, but I'm going first. So, you know, I remember the field had a Horse Prince and a Tiger King by the end of it and everything like that. And so I just kept negating, you know, I kept activating effect to negate. I even had a Blaster sitting on the field too. So it was nice to use Tiger King's effect to negate so he couldn't no Geometrio me. So I'd always have 3 monsters on the field. And, you know, I had a decent amount of back row. Nothing, you know, I didn't have any decrees or anything like that, but I had stuff. You know, I had like MSTs and stuff like that, and the Goyokus. Goyoku's very key, by the way, where I just freeze them. You know, and 9 out of 10 times I picked the right card. You know, I'd always pick it, and I'd see that little look on his face like he was pissed. And always hit the right card. You know, throughout the entire regional, Goyoku, I always hit the right card. I always hit the Return from a Different Dimension. Always hit the Abyss Sphere. Always hit the Mirror Force. Always hit the TT. Anything I needed, I always hit. You know, so I run that card at 2, and I think it's wonderful. It's never done me wrong. So game 2, I just absolutely just truck over him and just, you know, go blaster attack, blaster, 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 and just go. Game 3, him and I both drew very well. It was very back and forth. I remember the ending of the game. He had 5 back row set and a Medion on the field, and I had a Blaster, 2 Tiger Kings, a Cardinal, and a Horse Prince. The Cardinal was already used, and it was in defense mode, and I'm just, you know, and I had like 3 back row, and, you know, we're probably at least 20 turns in. Sorry. But anyways, So he summons the Medion, and I'm like, fuck, he's gonna bounce all my stuff. And he actually doesn't, because if I remember correctly, he was at 2,000 life points, and I was still at like 78 or 2,000 or 8,000. It was more if he was just getting rid of my stuff than him actually doing damage. So he leaves the Medion on the field, hoping that I can't attack. So what I do is I use Tiger King's effect to negate it. He even actually called over a judge just to make sure that this was okay. You know, we made sure that this was how it worked. But the Tiger King worked, and I swung, did all the attacks, and at the end of the attack, he activated a huge chain, tried to get me down as much as possible, and just couldn't hit me for that 8,000 mark. And I won my first round. So, you know, that was probably the most fun I had that day. You know, it was probably the best game I had. Lots of fun. You know, definitely a great way to start the day. So next round, I actually play one of our locals, Pedro. He was playing Gravekeepers. So I was already kind of upset that he was playing Gravekeepers because I run Wolfbark and I run Spirit. So both those cards are pretty much dead, which is half of my engine. So, you know, first game, he just decimates me. He just has everything. He just blocks all my stuff. You know, it was a good back and forth, but at the end of the day, he just outplayed me. He just straight up outplayed me. You know, and I was really scared about the Cyber Dragon, the Malefic Cyber Dragon, and the Malefic Stardust. So, you know, I side in my Tsukiyomis and stuff like that for the flip face down, and I side in a card that I thought would be funny, Void Trap Hole. I really, you know, last minute was like, fuck, what do I add in for a side? And I couldn't find my last DNA surgery. And, you know, I was searching all over for it all night, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to side in Void Trap Hole. I have an extra one, why not? So this was probably the funniest part of my day. He summons Malefic, Cyber, and Dragon. I go Void Trap Hole. He goes, Judge, calls the judge. The judge goes over and goes, it works. And he goes, well, how? It doesn't have anything to negate. So, you know, they gave us a time allowance, and we called Head Judge. He appealed it. And then we went into the fact that, oh, well, it has an effect of having other monsters being summoned and other monsters attacked. So technically it had an effect that could be negated. So it went away, and the next turn I went for game. Which was very, very prime. I thought it was wonderful. It made me laugh, and we joked about it a little bit afterwards. Game 3 was very heavy back and forth. You know, our first two games went by very quickly. Game 3 was definitely down to the wire. We were both down to maybe like 2,000-3,000 life points, and he ended up just slipping out. You know, he ended up just getting over my stuff, and just, you know, got game with just the pokes and everything like that. The assailant did put in work and everything like that, and I just kind of, you know, I just got outplayed. He's a really good, really nice friend. He just beat me. So I'm 1-1 at this point. Round 3, play against Evil Swarm. Now I've been playing Evil Swarm since the day it came out, so I know, you know, almost all the tricks, everything like that. And at one point, the guy, when I sit down, he goes, "Oh, if you need translations, I have translations." So I was like, well, he's probably playing dragons then. You know, fancy dragon player. Oh, I want fancy stuff. Nope, full German Evil Swarm deck. Maybe it was German and French, but either way. So I'm playing him. Game 1 just absolutely just ruined him. Like, he had no hope. Every time he'd, you know, like, he had Dark Illusions, which was pretty interesting, because, you know, when I went bear, he'd go Dark Illusion. But then I'd have another bear. Or I'd have a Horse Prince. Or I'd have something to negate effects to get over it. And with the bonus 100s from all, you know, the Tenkis and the Tensus, and then the bonus 1000 when I activate the Tensin and all that stuff, and he just had no hope, and I was just getting over everything. Game 2 went to a poke war. None of us were getting, that's what it was. None of us were getting exceeds. I had 2 monsters that entire game. I think he had 3. And, you know, it was just poke back and forth, poke back and forth. And he ended up Dark Illusioning a Bottomless, which was, or not Bottomless, Compulse, that's what it was. And with that, I had nothing on the field, and he just kept poking me for game, and all I kept drawing were spells. And no Tenkis, which was a bad part. Game 3, I ended up losing by 1 Ophion attack. He just attacked over my monsters, and I lost. You know, so I was pretty upset. I kind of thought I was going to win that game. You know, I went in a little too cocky. Didn't really care too much. The kid was a bit of a douche, so I just really just wasn't focused, and you know, I should have been. It was kind of my fault, and I outplayed myself. You know, so at that point I was 1-2, and I was like, you know what, I think I might drop. You know, so I'm talking to a couple buddies, see what they're doing and everything like that, and they're talking about starting Winamat. So I was like, you know, I might enter that. You know, play some kids. You know, trade some people and stuff like that. Ended up getting a whole bunch of foreign cards and everything like that. So it was nice. Ended up selling basically my entire binder and almost my entire collection. So I ended up walking out there with a whole bunch of stuff. So I was happy. So at that point I was kind of like, it was more for the experience. But I decided to go, you know what, I'm going to stick in it. So I went round 4, and it was another Evil Swarm player. No, I'm sorry, it was Black Wings. So I almost never play against Black Wings. I have a friend of mine who went there playing Black Wings, so he's really the only person I played against with him. And you know, we usually go back and forth pretty much, but you know, 9 out of 10 times I usually get that one top deck or something like that that just lets me get over everything. The kid was really nice and everything like that. You know, didn't really have too many assholes except for one Evil Swarm player, but that's just besides the point. We ended up going back and forth. I won game 1. He beat me game 2, and game 3 I just beat him. Nothing really special about the match. It was just fun. It was a relaxed match, you know, it wasn't much concentrating. We were actually more talking than we were playing, so we almost went into time because of it, because, you know, we were just kind of just chatting. And we were like, you know what, if we go into time, we go into time. Both of us were there to just kind of have fun at that point. So I ended up beating him, and then round 5. So I'm 3-2, and I'm like, you know what, my day's looking up. And I play Evil Swarm. Again. And I was really happy with my Evil Swarm play, and yeah, I was really happy playing Evil Swarms again, and just went for it and everything like that, and I just beat him. He didn't care to be there and everything like that. He ended up dropping, you know, and that was pretty much it. And then round after that, ended up playing Mermills. And kind of like beforehand, didn't think Mermills were going to be there. I actually took out, because I thought I was going to play Dragons more, I actually took out my Abyss Dweller the night before to put in a crazy box for an Eradicator target. Because I was like, I'm going to play Spellbooks and Dragons all day. Nope. Didn't play a single Spellbook, didn't play a single Dragon, nothing. Which I wish I did, because I was prepared for those guys. Was not prepared for Mermills. Took out my Abyss Dweller and put in my crazy box, and the moment I saw him drop that Abyss Gaios, I was kicking myself in the ass. And I was like, this sucks. I was like, this is awful. I shouldn't have done that. I was pissed at myself, and now I know that crazy box is not better than Abyss Dweller, regardless of the situation.
Note to everyone out there, do not change your decks the night before.
Yes, do not, because there's definitely a lot of things I changed the night before that I wish I didn't. I regretted it very highly. You know, so I ended up losing to him, and I was like, you know what, I'm done for the day. I was tired, I was hungry, and I was like, I'm going to go play Winamat. And I ended up dropping, and Winamat ended up not really happening the way it was supposed to. They had 10 people instead of 8 like they're supposed to. They ran it wrong. So the friend of mine, her and I, ended up just dropping, and we just ended up trading people. We went around watching other people play and stuff like that. I saw a whole bunch of good Fire Fist builds. There was a couple at top table, which was interesting. There was, last time I remember, at table 1, there was Dragons and Evil Swarm, which was interesting. Table 2 was Dragon. Table 3, I don't remember. And I think it was like table 10 was Fire Fists and Heretics. There was a couple Heretic players there, which was really cool. You know, some of them did really well. A couple of them we know personally. You know, most people that we went with ended up doing about the same as us. You know, some went 4-3, some went 3-3. A couple of our friends did get their invites. You know, and they're all really good players. You know, I feel like we have a decently strong locals. You know, Again, though, a lot of people ended up just dropping because it was more fun just playing with other people in the side events and, just hanging out with friends than it was actually playing in the tournament. And, it was a $20 well spent. It was worth the trip out there, and definitely worth going. I'm definitely going to try and go to more. And yeah, I mean, that's my experience at my first regional and my experience with Fire Fists. Hopefully next time I'll be playing Insectors, which is what I wish I played this time, just kind of for fun. But, next time that'll be my goal. And yeah, that's it. So like, comment, subscribe. Definitely know if you want to see any deck profiles, have any more questions. We'll definitely post more videos. And that's it, guys.
If you have any requests for any deck profiles or any questions, PM us. We'll get back to you whenever we can get access to a computer. But yeah, like and subscribe.
Bye, YouTube.